All right, hey, what's up, guys? Coach Mac, Play Fast Football. Today we're going to take a look at planning third down defense, how I plan third down defense. I had a subscriber ask me about certain scenarios, and we're going to take a look at 3rd and 6+ and how I would plan those things out. Make sure you check out some of our partners. GameStrat, Sideline Replay Company. I've always used it all the places I've been. Highly reliable, highly affordable. Almost never have an issue with them. If you do, they get back to you right away. Check out GameStrat. Dome Hats, a headwear company that provides Play Fast with all their hats and all our fancy, custom down kick wrap, no block, no rock, run power off and run counter again. All the great hats that you're seeing on Twitter and on social media, those are all Dome hats. All created custom by Dome, so make sure you check them out. Baker Sporting Goods, company I use for t-shirts like this, and we use them for our uniforms. They distribute our uniforms, and our coaches gear, fan gear, player gear all come from Baker Sports. So if you're in the Southeast, check them out. Modern Football, an analytic tool that helps play callers make adjustments on the fly a lot quicker than in the old days, maybe getting to halftime and going back through all the calls and seeing what they're doing. Or now we have Sideline Replay, makes it a little bit easier, but now with Modern Football you get an exact analytics tool that allows you to make adjustments a lot easier. It's really beneficial for play callers. And then FlyRouteDrones, if you want the best teaching angle, you got to have a drone angle. FlyRouteDrones, nation's leader in drones for athletics. Make sure you check them out. All right, so the way I go about third down defense, especially like 3rd and 6+, is I think about it this way. I'm going to send 3 and drop 8, all right, and that's usually going to be a zone answer for me. Now, when I do that, it's usually going to be something different than a standard 3-man rush. So what I like to do is I like to use as many athletes as possible. I'll take D linemen off the field, and I'll play as many linebacker, running back, receiver, safety, corner types as I can, so that in these scenarios we can do some different things and be a little bit more exotic with where we're dropping, how we're dropping. So for me, it would be a 3-man deal. It's usually a corner pressure from the boundary for me when I send 3, and I'll have a 4-man front with guys that are all in 2-point stances. Nobody's in a 3-point stance, and I'll bring the corner, and only 2 of those guys will rush, and then I'll pop 2 of them out to get to some type of it might have been a 6 under 2 or a 5 under 3 or some type of 8-man deal where we're dropping 8 in coverage, right? Then I'm going to send 4, and it's going to be usually a zone or a man answer. What I've got drawn up right now is one of my versions of sending 4 and playing man with a post player and then 2 underneath cut players to handle the back, right? So the way I would do that is I would create some type of bear look, right? I would stack a Mike and a Will behind each other. Now remember, when you see like end tackle, nose end, and you see the tackle and the nose drop, and for me on third down, those are running backs, linebackers. If it's 3rd and 6+, depending on, I'll go to that package when I know the analytics and tendencies tell me that that team is more than likely to throw the ball, right? If it's 3rd and 6 and I do my analytics on my opponent and it's 50-50 run or pass, I'm going to leave my base group on the field, right? I only put my money group, or, at the last school I was at, it was our Crusader group because that was our mascot, right? I only put that group on the field if the tendencies and the analytics tell me that this down and distance matches what this group can do, right? So these are going to be guys that are all athletic, guys that can drop, they can cover, they can rush the passer. So one of our 4-man deals would be a man-to-man deal with corners and safeties playing the skills. The back is going to be collected by the 2 pop-out players, right? So the 2-3 techniques, I'm going to give you a double eagle look. I'm going to stack them, what I would, by position, the Mike and the Will, and we're going to play a game off the center. The ends are going to rush and be your contained players, but then the 3 techniques are going to pop, and whoever has the back has to understand that they have to collect the back because we're not playing the back man-to-man. Okay, so that would be one of our 4-man deals, and then we would always gain a post player, so I'm playing some type of man-free deal, right? So for me, 4-man could be a zone or a man answer. Okay, a lot of times when we had some really fast twitch guys that were good players, and one of them's playing football at Benedictine now in Kansas, our best deal used to be sending 4 and having double 3 techniques, all right, and then we would just play some version of man under 2 deep, right? So again, remember the nickel, the Mike, and the Will are all athletic kids that can play man-to-man. So don't look at this and say, I don't want my Will on a number 3 or my Will. It's not really a Will or a Mike, it's more of a safety, right? So we would play number 1, number 2, number 3, he'd have number 1, he'd have the running back, and then these guys would play. So we would play 2-man, and we would just game up. All right, on either side, we would just game up. All right, however we wanted to game up the pressures, because I had athletes up front that could rush the passer, and they were really good at it. So there's times where my 4-man deals were 2-man, right? The most common thing on third down you see from a ton of people across the country. Right, but there's other times where it might have been too deep, right? So I want a zone or a man answer, and then that week when I go in, I'll determine with my 4-man pressures if it's going to be a zone or a man answer, right? Then we're going to have some type of 5-man deal, right? Each week we'll have some type of 5-man deal. So, you know, one of the ones that especially if we're playing a quarterback that can scat a little bit, one of the ones I always liked was we would get into some version of a boss front, or some version. Right, some version of a loaded front on that side like that, right? And then, however we would do it by personnel again, this is a third down package, right? This is a third down package where these are athletic people on the field, but I would basically, some type of game there, all right? And then I would peel with a backer off the edge, and I would peel with an end, so that I didn't have to worry about the back. All right, I'd play 1, 2, 3, number 1 man. I would spy with one, all right, and then I would play the post with another one. All right, so we create a game up front to send 5. We would peel, so we're sending 5 with a peel, which allows me to not account for the back straight up man-to-man. Now that gives me not only a post player, but it gives me a spy player, right? Some college guys sometimes would call it like odd mirror, and they do it different ways. But if that quarterback is a guy that can scramble a little bit, if that quarterback is a guy that can do some things, I'm going to send 5. I love to do it from the balls to the loaded front to get a game. For me, the way I would game plan it is we would probably load the front away from the back, so that I could get, to me, I would want the will. So I would try and load the front away from the back, so that on the side that I'm going to bring the will, now I can get the will on the side of the back is what I think is the peel player, and the end to the other side. Right, so we come up with some type of game. I think I'm going to make it difficult on the O-line. Anytime you send 5, if you're playing a team that struggles in pass protection, Bill Belichick would tell you all the time, send 5, create 5 one-on-ones. You're going to win one of those because they're not very good in pass protection, right? But when I send 5, I want to be protected with a post player, and I want to be protected with a spy player, because a lot of times in high school, you send 5 and play man free, and the quarterback gets out and ruins your night, right? So, you know, that would be a way to possibly send 5 and have an answer. And then I'm always going to be able to send 6 and have an answer. And that answer when we send 6 is usually going to be maybe a hot pressure, where it's vision and break, eyes 2 under 3 deep, or a peel pressure where I'm sending 6, peeling the back and playing with a post player, right? So, you know, if you get into a world where you can send 6 and peel the back, and the reason I peel the back so much in high school is they very rarely release, and when they do, they release wide. So there's not most of the teams that you play, there's not a ton of passing tree concepts from the back. It's usually the back getting out wide, right? We're guilty of the same thing. I'm guilty of the same thing on offense. So I love peeling backs in these situations because they rarely get out, and when they do, they get out wide. You know, so a scenario like this would be we can create some type of double edge pressure, right? So we can create some type of double edge pressure, and now if we peel the back, however we want to do it, that allows us to gain somebody, whether we gain somebody underneath or we gain somebody that we're going to run to the post, right? That guy that's playing the mic, even though it's an athlete, I probably wouldn't run him to the post. But when you look at the diagram, we're sending 6 and peeling, which means I'm going to gain a post player, right? So if I was going to send 6, I would send 6 in either some type of vision and break zone theory, or I would send 6 and it would be some type of man peel answer, right? And then we always have the ability to send 7, and that's going to be a man peel answer. I can't play a ton of zone. We play what we call a burn technique. Off man, you give the impression that it's man coverage, but we call it burn. It's kind of the Brian Flores stuff. We allow our guys to play catch man with vision and break eyes on the quarterback. So if that ball comes out quickly while we're sending 7, now we can rally and we can get to it. But we always carry the 7-man answer. So each week in my game plan, what I would be figuring out is, What do I want my 3-man to be? What do I want my 4-man, my 5-man, my 6-man, my 7-man? What do I want those to be? I want 5 of them, and each week I want to change them to where maybe my 3-man is always his zone answer. My 4-man deal is a zone or a man answer. So if last week we were playing zone behind it, the next week we'll probably play man. My 5-man was some type of zone or man answer. I'll switch it up. 6-man was a zone or a man peel answer. 7-man was always man peel. So each week that I go into third down scenarios, I got 5 things I'm working on, 5 things I'm thinking about, right? These are the five things that analytically, when I get into a situation that I know 3rd and 6 or plus, this team is going to throw the ball 80 to 90% of the time, I can put this group on the field, right? And it doesn't take a ton of time in practice. We used to practice it once or twice a week for 10 minutes a period. We get about 20 minutes of work each week with it, all right? And then by the end of the season, I wouldn't change the pass too much. I wouldn't change the calls too much. I would just say, hey, I had maybe 2 things I like, 2 things I like, 2 things I like, 2 things I like, 2 things I like. Each week I'd go through it based on who we were playing, and I would say, give me one of these, one of these, one of these, one of these, one of these. I want to go into a game with 5 of them, and then who knows how many chances I get. Sometimes I get 3 chances. Sometimes that group's on the field 10 times, right? So that's how I think about planning third down defense. I think about 3rd and 6 plus. Then I look at the analytics of who I'm playing. Can I match 3rd and 6 plus with the ball's going to be in the air, they're going to throw the football. How do they like to throw the football? How do they protect? Let me give them these versions, because what is an offensive guy going to do? Hey, what's their third down deal? Oh, they're a pressure team on third down. They always run hot pressures. Okay, well, they're going to dial up, protections and deals to beat that. So I never want it to be the same thing. I want it to be a very passive 3-man drop 8, and then I want to be 4-man, and I want to be able to play zone or man behind it. I want to be a little bit more aggressive with a 5-man deal and still be able to play man or zone behind it. 6-man deal and a 7-man deal. So now they can't sit there and go, hey, huge pressure team on third down, let's get ready. Hey, they never bring anybody on third down. Hey, they only bring 4 on third down, and it's all sims and creepers. I want to have all the answers to be really passive, send 3, a little bit more aggressive with 4, a little bit more aggressive with 5, really aggressive with 6, ultra aggressive with 7. All right, so that's my third down philosophy. That's how I think about things. That's how I game plan it. In my head, it's a special group, different group, a money group. However you want to look at it, it's really a dime group for us. As many athletes on the field as we can get that are running backs, linebackers, safety types, so that we can do different things, line up in different looks, drop guys out, pop guys out. We got deals where it's 6-man double mugs and we're popping out based off the center. So a lot of really good stuff there. It's interesting. I love it because it gets me in my brain and the dopamine where I need it to be during the week, right? I'm done with my base. I'm done with our second downs. Let's get to our third down deal. All right, I appreciate all you guys watching. Remember to check out our partners. All right, remember, support those companies if you can. Thanks for being here. It's the off season now for us. Didn't make the playoffs. I'll be ripping more videos. Thanks for everything you do for me. Remember, you won't play well until you play fast. See you next time.